For some residents in Zandt County, concerns about fires from solar farms are rising.
We're all for wind and solar and all those things, as long as they're sited in the right place where they can be maintained properly and the citizenry can be safe.
According to Ben Wheeler Fire and Rescue, a solar panel farm in Zandt County caught on fire in 2023 after a hailstorm damaged some of the panels, causing them to overheat. At that time, the fire department said the fires were small and not a threat to nearby properties. We tried to reach out to the owner of that solar farm, but were unable to get a response. Now, 2 years later, some residents are still speaking up, saying they have fire safety concerns.
They have legitimate concerns. They have legitimate reasons as to why they don't necessarily want it in their county.
Rural fire departments like those in Zandt County are mainly volunteers, which means response times can be slower and resources are limited.
These volunteer fire departments in Zandt County, they do a great job with what they have. But there's only so much that a small department can do.
While larger counties can impose their own fire codes, counties with less than 250,000 residents can't, meaning they have to rely on state law, which has minimal regulations for solar farms.
That's what's frustrating is our citizens want something that legally I can't give them. What I'm encouraging local citizens to do is to actually reach out to their state legislator and see if there are things like zoning corridors that can be created.
Dunigan says until those laws change, solar companies are incentivized to build in smaller counties instead of larger ones because of cheaper costs.
The only reason they're being built out here is for the convenience of the people building them, not the citizens here.